No matter if you're preparing to teach your first class with us at Brandman or you're returning to teach your 45th, welcome to this introduction to Blackboard 9.1 for Brandman instructors. What is Blackboard? It's an LCMS, a Learning Content Management System. Don't worry, you're not going to be tested on that. All that means is that Blackboard is, in essence, our mothership, an online software environment. You do not download Blackboard, you log into it. It is the environment that allows us to build cohesive course shells, which I'll show you, don't worry. Cohesive course shells, maintain them, update them, make sure that they're in great shape, and then duplicate them and give them out to individual instructors throughout the BU community to teach for their students. It's continually growing. Students are adding in their assignments, we're changing the activities. It is a living repository. How do we use Blackboard at Brandman University? Each individual course at Brandman University, no matter what school you're in, has a shell. That shell assures that every student taking that course has the same syllabus, is using the same book, is gaining the same ideas and information to ensure that when they have successfully completed it, they will have indeed met the course learning outcomes or objectives. And all of those course learning outcomes are, obviously, you're an instructor, you understand this, the outgrowth of the program learning outcomes. So for university-wide assessment, teaching your master shell is absolutely crucial. Trust and know and have faith in the fact that each shell, each course, has a specific individual who is serving as the maintainer or the custodian, depending on what language you like, who is the person you can go to if you have an issue with the content. This is outdated, this needs to be upgraded. Anything to do with content, there is an individual who is responsible for keeping that course and its shell up to date. Those shells then, there is one shell for each course. That shell is then duplicated out and given to you, the individual instructor. So now we hit the question of flexibility. And this is a big discussion because yes, your shell, again, it contains the syllabus with what we call a course at a glance. That is the breakdown of what is expected to occur in that class week to week. This is not in any way, shape, or form an attempt to stymie academic freedom. However, we do have to remember that we are a distributed system, and we have to ensure that students from Seattle to San Diego are indeed getting the same quality of educational experience. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What must I do as an instructor? I have to use the shell. I can't pretend it doesn't exist. It is part of the learning experience, whether it's fully online, where it obviously is the core of how I do my delivery, or in a blended course where it is an integral part of expanding the classroom from just those 3 hours that you have the students face-to-face to the entire week. It is crucial. You must use the shell. You must communicate with your students. And the shell is a great way to do that because in Blackboard you'll have discussion threads, you can indeed email, there may be other tools such as wikis or blogs. You have to communicate with your students throughout the week. You must guide and support the engagement activities built into the shell. Again, for those of you teaching blended, this is a crucial component. Blended doesn't mean that as soon as the face-to-face portion is over, you send the students out and they do whatever they feel like doing in the online shell, but that's an online thing. It really doesn't matter. Absolutely not. That is not what the Brandman ideal model is all about, and that is not best practices for adult learners. And again, this is an intro. We're going to get much more into this. So please right now don't feel frustrated that you feel we're giving you a bunch of information we can't support. We can indeed support it, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But you must please recognize the responsibility here. Those engagement activities you have to keep an eye on. Sometimes you're going to have to jump in and cajole the students. You're falling behind. The week is running. Tick, tick, tick. Keep going. Encourage participation, role model participation. The more you use the shell to create a community, the greater the learning experience for everyone. Most of our courses have what is called a signature assignment. You will find this in the shell. It will be noted in the syllabus. It will be there present in the shell. The signature assignment is directly tied to the program learning outcomes. Whatever the signature assignment is that is in your class, again, most classes have them. There are some that don't, but most do. You must assign it and assess it as it is in the shell. You have to add in your instructor information. We've had issues in the past where people teaching blended didn't think it was important because they were going to see their students face to face. Wrong. By not adding in your instructor information, you have immediately communicated to the students that this electronic component, yeah, whatever, it just is there. It is an integral part of the teaching/learning experience. Please, it may seem so basic, but it's huge. You must add in your instructor information. And now let's actually take a look, a broad level look, at what Blackboard is for us as instructors. You will have to, as I said, enter into Blackboard. You don't download it, you log into it. I tend to use the shortcut. I go directly in through brandman.blackboard.com, or you can go through the main Brandman page, brandman.edu, and go in through quick links. Either way, you will land on the Brandman Blackboard entry point where you will have to put in your username and your password. It's the same information you use to get your email. So you put the information in and what happens? Welcome to the splash page. What you'll see on the left are your basic tools. Then you'll see my announcements, my calendar, my tasks, and my courses. This is the area you'll be looking at the most because, again, the shells for your individual courses will all show up here. Now, let me point one little thing out here. Notifications dashboard. There is information specific to this inside the 9.1 training shell, but let me show you quickly. Notifications dashboard gives you a lovely, quick, organized page where anything that you've got coming up in a class that you are teaching, something you're enrolled in at the time, if you've got what's due, you've got dates built in there, certain things need attention, different alerts, what's new, these things will show up on your notifications dashboard. You may use it, you may play with it later, that's your decision. Let's go back to what's crucial, my courses. You may look at this and go, why does that have a Z, 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 and why do these courses have ZZs? Remember I was speaking about master shells. You as an individual instructor probably won't have any shells listed for you that have a ZZ or a Z. The ZZ means this is the actual master class for a fully online course, whereas Z means this is the master shell for a blended course. All right, again, these are things that as an instructor you don't really need to worry about, but as you become more and more engaged in the Brandman community, and you probably will eventually take on the responsibility of being a course maintainer, custodian, or even designing a new course yourself, that's when this type of information will start making a lot more sense. How do we get into the courses we are either taking or teaching? We simply click on the name. It takes a moment for a course to load, particularly the very first time you log in. Please don't let that throw you. Navigation, you've got content areas and major buttons on the left, and then on the right is where the content appears, shows up. It's that basic. Now, one other very, very important thing. Notice right now, look what I've got up here. Edit mode is on. That means I'm looking at this from instructor view. I can edit, I can create an announcement, I can go into any one of these sections, I can add new content, I can add new assessments, I can add new tools. Here's the thing. You all are being loaded into this Blackboard 9.1 training shell as what's called graders. What that means is you have the ability to see everything from, look at edit mode, from the instructor's point of view, but when you click that, edit mode will go off, and from the student's point of view, as a grader, you are able to fully participate in the class. When edit mode is off, which you should keep it off for most of this 9.1 training experience so you don't accidentally mess something up in the shell. When the edit mode is off, you are seeing things as the students do, and this is the mode you want to be in to do 90% of this course. This is a course about learning how to use Blackboard in general. Learning how to use it as an instructor, that comes in the 3-week certification course, whether you personally are taking the blended version or the fully online, the certification course. So please, for 99% of what you're going to be doing in this course, make sure edit mode is off. In fact, it's the first thing you should do when you log into this course, and I will put that in an announcement, so don't be surprised when you see that there as well. If edit mode is on, and all I do is click to turn it back on. See, green button is on. When edit mode is on, you will have a harder time navigating because all these different opportunities to move stuff around, add stuff, order stuff, edit stuff. You don't want to be doing that right now. It'll make your life so much more difficult. For 90% of this, you want edit mode off. When is the one time you're going to want edit mode on? When you get to the end of your training shell. What you're going to need to do is go into your hidden instructor folder and download the doc version of a PDF rubric that is posted inside course information. Now, this is very typical. In most of our courses, what we post for the students to prepare them, to get them ready so they know what to expect, is in PDF form. But for something like a rubric that the instructor needs to fill out, inside the Hidden Instructor Resources folder, which is hidden inside course information, that's where we keep the docs. So to complete this course, when you've gone through all the simulations and tutorials and explored and played, and you're feeling comfortable, the very bottom button to complete this course, here's what you'll need to do. You'll have to go into course information. You'll have to make sure edit mode is on so that you see the Hidden Instructor Resources folder. Inside that folder, you will find a rubric, a doc version of a rubric for you to download to your computer, fill out, put in your name and fill out the rubric, save it as either a doc or a PDF, and then you will upload it to the appropriate link, which you will find in the bottom of the left-hand nav bar, the one that says Training Complete. There'll be 2 links, one for returning and one for new instructors. It'll make sense when you see it. But again, the important thing to remember is you need to go through everything before you do this, because these instructions that sound so complicated now will absolutely make sense. You will go into course info. You'll make sure you have edit mode on. You'll go into the Hidden Instructor Resources folder. You will download the doc version of the signature assignment rubric, fill it out, save it as a doc or a PDF, and upload it to the Training Complete link. That's how we complete this portion of our training. Thank you.